Leave a pick of the weekend's action in Champions League Weekly coming up in half an hour here on ITV1. First, though, in a change to the advertised programme, strong opinions and strong language. The last in the current series of Late Attitude.
Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the show that gives you lot the chance to have your say. Welcome to Late Attitude. We're kicking off with a subject that's always in the news headlines, because this week we're going to be talking about asylum seekers.
There's a lot of British citizens out there of, you know, mixed race who've been born here, and we should look after them before we look after others.
There's too many people coming over here getting houses, you know, flats, money for stuff, and it's not on really.
Is Britain being overrun by criminals and freeloaders, or are we simply denying help to those that need it most? Guys, what do you think? Are we being too hard or too soft on asylum seekers?
I think it's a controversial issue which needs to be addressed, and it's not been acknowledged by the government itself, so I personally am totally against asylum seekers.
You're against asylum seekers?
Yeah, I think the government is way too soft on them.
Really? So what about if you needed to go to another country, you needed to flee this country and you need to go to another country, would you think differently then? Yes
No.
or no? No? Okay,
No.
fine.
I think you can't really have a question whether you're too hard or too soft, because it's not as black and white as that, and it encourages people to sort of put all their eggs, like sort of say, get rid of all asylum seekers or let them all in. You can't say that.
So you're saying possibly, or maybe not?
I'm saying it's not black and white. You can't say too hard or too soft.
Okay, well, we're going to have more on the asylum debate in just a minute. Our live music this week comes from R&B sensation from Bradford, Shania.
When I say I need you here, please, don't believe a word. I will never need you, boy. Don't listen to a word.
Shania's going to be playing live later on in the show. But first, joining us here at Jumping Jacks in Bradford is our very own roving reporter, Serena. To give us an update on this week's news stories, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
By the way.
Sad to say, but the Terry's chocolate factory in York are closing down and moving to Switzerland.
More redundancies.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Now we've got, did you know this, that the government are launching a scheme whereby they give students £30 a week, hoping that they'll stay in education.
An incentive to stay on in sixth
Yeah.
form? Well, I wish I'd have had that when I was at school. What about on the last
And
night?
there's been a massive increase in sightings of big cats, pumas and leopards.
What, in Yorkshire alone?
Yeah, all over.
Justine, how about that? I think we've found you an alternative source for those leopard skin prints you're after.
Yeah, baby. Matt, what's been making us giggle this week?
Not so much of a giggle, a bit of a smirk really. It's all about the Beckhams again. Again, but this time it's about his hair.
Right, okay.
On his head, don't worry.
Obviously had it cut off.
Yep, all shaved off again, just to change the limelight from the affair. Okay, just to completely sideline
They
it.
do follow him, to be fair, though, don't they? What else has been going on?
Take that, thinking about reforming, just for one gig.
Come on, take that and party.
Yep, nice one. And that's including Robbie as well. And finally, Knight Rider's going to be made into a movie.
Come on, Kit, come and get me.
Yeah, but not with David Hasselhoff.
Oh, that's a shame.
Hopefully going to be Ben Affleck playing his son.
Brilliant, that'd be fab.
As always, we ask you what you want to see discussed on the show, and this week it's been the asylum debate that's really got you going. The big question is, are we being too hard on asylum seekers or too soft?
To come over here to work and just generate money the same way that we do.
This area is one of the worst for having racial problems, violence problems. Letting more people in that could cause more problems might just make it worse.
I think if they come in willing to work, then I don't see any problem letting them come in.
I think they shouldn't let them in if they've no skill or they've not to bring to our country.
I think if they get jobs and, you know, they give them a chance, they could do something, and, you know, people start working together, do you know what I mean, instead of hating people, then we could get something done, do you know what I mean?
They're prepared to come over to work, and if we wanted to do that, we'd expect to be let in and to be treated like humans, but I think they're just treated like dirt when they come over here.
It's about time this government sorted it out and stop bringing them all in. I think money's being wasted. It needs to be spent more on schools and NHS.
We should, you know, be a bit softer on them, and I think it's the media actually that's portraying them maybe in a rather untrue light.
Serena, explain what exactly is the difference between a refugee and an asylum seeker?
An asylum seeker is someone who is trying to claim refugee status. However, a refugee has already claimed asylum, they are living here legally, cannot be returned to his or her country of origin. but has to prove that one of their fundamental rights have been breached.
Okay, so let me clarify this. Somebody first arrives at the country,
Yeah.
they are an asylum seeker. They lodge a claim with the government assess and process that claim in due course, I presume. And if the government agree with them that one of their fundamental rights have been breached where they used to live, they then become a refugee of this country.
Exactly.
Well, thanks. You kind of cleared that one up for me. It's a bit confusing. Thank you, Serena. Okay, I'm joined now by Beth Beasley from the Future Conservative Party. And as far as you're concerned, Beth, people are taking advantage of the system, aren't they?
Well, it's not people taking advantage. It's a system which is in place. It's slid into chaos. And the fact that the system's not working, it's persecuting the people who genuinely want to claim asylum and have genuine reasons for them to claim asylum, that they have been persecuted.
So we're saying the system is there to be abused and people are abusing it?
That's what it is. There's too many loopholes for people. When they come to claim asylum, they can claim up to 70% benefit. There's loopholes where, when they do get refugee status, they're claiming the back benefit, and there's people who've got £12,000. And when this comes out in the media, that's when the bad attitudes start. So if the system was right.
We're also joined by Hannah, who works for the Refugee Council, and asylum seeker Tina. Hannah, do you think we're being too soft on asylum seekers?
Well, asylum seekers actually have it very, very tough in this country. They're extremely traumatised, they're very vulnerable people, they're running away from persecution, they're not allowed to work, and if they're destitute, they're forced to live on a third less than those on income support.
What do you say to people that do say that the system's definitely got loopholes in it and it's being taken advantage of?
Well, the system could be improved, definitely. If an asylum seeker had a good quality decision as fast as possible, then it would cost everybody a lot less money, and it would take a lot less toll on the asylum seeker themselves. So yes, the system can be improved.
Okay, from a personal point of view, Tina, what's it been like arriving in this country and trying to claim asylum?
I came to this country at the age of 18. I'm now 24. I'm still waiting for a Home Office decision.
So you've been here 6 years and
That's
still waiting
right,
for a decision?
yes,
Well, that's ridiculous. That's obviously been costing a lot of money.
Yes.
And are you any closer to finding out?
I don't know.
You don't know? Is this a common occurrence, Hannah?
Not so much anymore. For those people that have been here for a long time, it's fairly common, to be honest. But these days, the government is definitely processing people faster.
Sure. So just to close the debate, both sides of the fence, you'd probably both be happier if we can tighten the loopholes, take them out of the system, and then everybody gets a fair crack at it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Justine, do we have any questions from our audience?
Who's your question for?
It's for Hannah. I just wanted to know, do you think asylum seekers are entitled to the same financial benefits as British citizens?
Well, an asylum seeker isn't entitled to the same as a British citizen. If they're destitute, they get a third less than those on income support. That's the situation at the moment.
Thank you. And your question?
It's also for Hannah. You said that the media often combines images of asylum seekers and illegal immigrants, and a lot of them do have legal rights. What exactly defines, then, an illegal immigrant?
Well, an illegal immigrant is somebody who has come to this country with every intention not to declare themselves, usually because they want to work illegally and they want to take some money and send it back perhaps to their family. But that's the difference between them. An asylum seeker is legal.
Tell us what you think about the asylum seeker and refugee situation by logging on to our website at lateattitude.com. And now for something completely different, as we take a look at just what some people would do to draw attention to themselves, whether we're talking about downing a drink without using your hands or fitting your fist inside your mouth, or even farting the national anthem. Yes, Late Attitude discovers your ideas on DIY entertainment. Now you've got a party trick, haven't you?
Yeah, I can juggle. Not very well. But
well, fire away, it's a trick. It's good for me. Okay, it's not bad. Have we got anything else?
I can actually rotate my hand 360 degrees on the floor.
Put your balls in my hand. Okay, fine, that's fine. Rotate.
Yeah, I can.
Nurse! Okay, you've got a trick, haven't you?
I have. I can shove my little finger right up my nose.
Okay, this I'm waiting to
Got to
see.
leave it up first.
Okay. Oh, and you've got another trick, haven't you? And you don't want to do this one, I'm sorry, but come on.
Make me shove a finger. Okay, I can shove a fist in my mouth as well.
Do you want to put the clean one in, or?
No, I'm going to wipe it on
fine,
you.
fire away. And unbelievably, she's single. Okay, well that's this lot. Well, what about your best party trick?
You see me? I just like to blend into the background, but some people do almost anything to show off their party tricks.
I bet.
I can do a pirouette. Learned this in my dance class. You see the way the feet landed there, so you don't see them in music videos.
Don't you think that's good?
If I'm at a party, I'm usually at first step rope and that's it.
Like that.
It's a bit weird, but never mind.
I can move my shoulders like in a little rhythm. Is that right?
Like E.T.
I think my party trick's just drinking.
You can't wait, can you?
It's called a Valdez, it's like a semi-backflip. And that's it.
There were some strange party tricks there, wasn't
Was
there?
there actually?
Oh, you've been waiting to impress me, Adam.
Okay,
Come on,
Hal,
give it to
right.
me.
Don't wait yourself, brace yourself now, because it's going to be spectacular,
Go
okay?
on.
I'll wet my finger,
Uh-huh.
put it in my ear, I go...
Ew.
No one else can do it, so yeah. But,
What do you think to that one?
It's kind of okay.
Shall I show you mine?
Well...
Yes, right, okay, you've got a tea towel. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, tea towel.
Woo.
Justine. Scaring me now.
Swing, swing. Impressed, eh?
Well, quite frankly, that was shit. Now, we thought TV had covered every taboo going, but with Channel 4 broadcasting an abortion last week, when does TV go too far? And we're also going to be asking which TV show you'd like to resurrect and why.
Thundercats or Dungeons and Dragons, but I think Inspector Gadget.
Spot the Dog was my favourite kids programme.
I can't believe they pulled Baywatch off the air just as Justine was about to have an audition. Stay tuned for more Late Attitude.
The coolest DVD of the year. Kill Bill Volume 1. On DVD now.
Welcome back to Late Attitude. We're here at Jumping Jacks in Bradford with our team of roving reporters, Matt, Adam and Serena, and of course our Justine. We're going to be talking TV classics and TV taboos in just a minute. But first, if there's something you want to say about any of this week's topics, then you should know where to go by now. The address, of course, is lateattitude.com. From a punk group called the Sex Pistols saying fuck on telly all those years ago, to more recently dozens of shows showing girls getting their tits out, and even a live autopsy. TV's always pushed the limits of taste and decency as well as tackled taboos. But the recent televising of an abortion by Channel 4 begs the question, when does TV go too far?
Well, Richard, I don't really want to see pictures of dead babies on television, but if it allows the broadcasters to get the images across, gets people talking, and allows taboo areas to get sort of exposed and help make things better, I think they should be allowed to do it.
Okay, what do you think?
For fuck's sake, man, it's a consumer choice. You either watch it or you don't.
So you're saying if you don't like what you see on TV, just turn off?
It's a democracy.
Well, that's a simple opinion. That's what these guys think, but what do you reckon?
I don't think they should wrap people in cotton wool. I think they should show things. If they show things like abortions, it might make people think twice about having babies young and what the consequences are.
I think different channels are trying to experiment with different ways of either try to attract the attention or shock people.
Push the boundaries further, and that's what gets the ratings in. I think that's what they're looking at, and that's why we've got, like, in Coronation Street we've got a gay couple and that, and in EastEnders there's a lesbian, so they're looking at pushing the boundaries out further.
Personally, I've got a little boy myself, and I wouldn't agree with like abortions or anything like that on telly at all. I personally think it's disgusting.
Channel 4 is not exactly the channel to watch after 9 because it's quite embarrassing to sit with your family and watch it.
Everyone has a right to what they want to watch, and if people don't like what they see, you should just change channel.
These real issues out there which people need to sober up and see, do you know what I mean? And then they might not have as much escapism in their life, like watching Coronation Street or EastEnders to get their life a bit more interesting.
You can switch off if you don't want to watch it. There's the Watershed, 9 o'clock Watershed. So therefore it's your choice whether you watch it or not.
There's things on TV nowadays that are shown at 6, 5 o'clock that my children will not be seeing.
I think the things on TV are just real life. People need to see what's going on in the world, and if you don't like it, you can turn it off.
Michael, as a research director for future communication at Leeds University, do you think this is a step too far?
I don't think there is such a thing as a step too far. I think there's, you show what you think should be shown. I mean, I don't think there is a too far. There are barriers that some people have regarding content on television, and other people don't respect those barriers.
Do you not think there's a question of taste and decency?
Yeah, but whose taste and whose decency? I mean, I've done lots of research over the years on taste and decency. If I talk to people like are in here, their definition of what would be tasteful and decent is not the same as their grandparents'.
Is it a constantly moving boundary? Is that the problem?
Yeah, yes, it is. It is constantly moving, but eventually it's going to come full circle. But we'll start getting tightened up again soon, I think.
Right, now do you think things that are shown on the media, violence, for instance, influence people's behaviour?
A lot of Americans think they do, because a lot of Americans seem to behave strangely. I don't think it's true. I don't think the violence per se on television makes people violent. People make people violent, not television.
Right, and do you think showing people, lewd behaviour, people getting drunk, kids getting pissed up all the time, do you think that's going to make them think, oh, that's a good thing to do, I'll go out and do that?
I used to get pissed up long before it was shown on television. I don't think, it just doesn't work that way. I mean, kids have always done what they do. All right, television now shows it. Maybe television showing it actually makes people realise that bad things can happen as well as good things.
So quickly, you think that the media is rather just a window in society rather than the cause of its problems?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool. Guys, have we got any questions for Michael?
Yes, we do, yeah.
Well, I'd just like to badger Michael with a quick question. If they were going to tighten up the censorship laws, who would be responsible for drawing the new lines? Would it be politicians, the government, or would it be TV experts like yourself?
I'd say neither. I think we've got to treat ourselves, or people, as grown-ups, as being in control. So if you really want my answer would be you'd have something like a jury.
Composed of a wide cross-section of society, I presume.
Yeah, and let them have a good argument. Lock them in a room.
Well, it might make a good programme.
It would.
Thank you. What's your question?
No, don't you think the broadcasters stress more on ratings winners than kind of taste and decency? Like, that doesn't really matter anymore as long as they pull in the viewers. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's something I personally don't particularly like, but it's true, yes.
No, yeah.
Ratings cover everything. Now, if you make a programme that attracts, well, not necessarily a big audience, but the right sort of audience, and people like yourselves are an attractive audience because you've got quite a lot of disposable income, then the programmes will be angled towards you rather than, say, your parents or the poor.
The older generation, yeah.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, guys. You can take your views on any of tonight's topics as far as you like by logging on to lateattitude.com. As usual, we've had loads of emails about last week's topics. Is that your hand? Saucy. Philip from York said, my dad says that people who graffiti should have their heads dyed purple permanently, and then they'd see how they like their property defaced. I say, why not? Well, whatever, Philip. Don't think he's going to get away with it, though.
Funnily enough, John doesn't say where he's from. He says he once went on a blind date with a girl he met over the internet, and it wasn't until the end of the night that he found out that she was a he.
Oh,
Needless to say, there wasn't a second date.
yeah, needless to say, John didn't tell us where he's from.
Yes.
Laura from Hebden Bridge says, my boyfriend uses my nail clippers to get the dry skin off his feet, which I think is disgusting.
Horrible habit. Filthy.
Is that not normal?
No, it's not.
My
I'll tell you what
mistake.
else is not normal. Lucy also says, what irritates me is when boys play with the balls in public. You don't see this girl having a fiddle around. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Sometimes you just got to adjust, haven't you, guys?
Yeah.
That's
No,
right.
girls don't do it.
No, shut up. Now listen, if abortions and autopsies are not your ideal viewing fodder, then perhaps you'd long for the days of TV gone by. In which case, which programme would you like to see resurrected, and why?
I think if I could bring back any programme, it would have to be Whack a Day. I think it's the whole fact of just whacking someone over the head. It just really, really appeals to me. But some people have no taste at all. What programme would you bring back and why?
Wizardara. Do you remember Wizardara?
Wizardara?
Wizardara.
Wasn't it in like a shop or something?
I want to see Fresh Prince back on the box and Desmond's. Them things were educational, funny, and just entertaining.
Yeah, and there was the wizard with the...
Can you remember the
and
socks?
the socks in the drawers.
Yeah, I'd like to see Spitting Image come back.
I'd probably bring back Rainbow.
I'd probably bring back the clangers because it was so simple.
Oh, what was that? Were it a turnip?
Oh, and it's a talk.
The A-Team, because best programme around when I was a kid.
Could she make spells in that thing?
Oh yeah, she made spells with stuff on the Guardian.
Yeah, that's how she made the socks.
The Tube, and Land of the Giants as well.
I thought I was the only one as well. Like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Mark, they just don't make them like they used to, do they?
Definitely not at all. I mean, that's probably why they're bringing back classics such as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, that rocked in its heyday.
Heroes in a half shell.
Turtle power, all the way. No, I loved that one completely. I had every single toy. Also, I'd love to see Sooty come back.
Sooty,
Sooty and Sweep and Sue.
Sue.
But remember, Sooty and Sue are not allowed to touch because children get the wrong idea.
I wonder where they get that one from.
Strange,
I have got
that.
the hands shoved up their arse in the first place, though. So, right, we're also joined with Martin Lenton, who's an exhibition organiser from the National Museum of Film, Photography and TV here in Bradford. What's the most cult TV show on at the moment?
I'm not sure at the moment, but there was a recent survey that was done by Channel 4, and I think Bagpuss came out at #1 as the all-time favourite ever kids' TV programme.
Emily's made a bit of a rehash.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's hard to fault it really. These classics, they were made, and they were made fantastically well, and you can't remake things like that, they're too good.
Eve.
Well, things like that and the Clangers were especially good. But there are other ones like sort of Duckula and, if you like, who's that, Danger Mouse? They're real perpetual favourites as well. But things like your Thunderbirds still out there and the Captain Scarlets, I mean, they're all going really well. They're still good today. Though things like Scarlet is actually being remade in CGI.
Log on to lateattitude.com to check out all the comments on this week's topics. That's almost it for this week, and indeed for the series. No, for the series. Okay. I'd like to thank you, Justine, for putting up with me each week. Obviously, thanks to our roving reporters, Matt, Adam and Serena. Now, who knows, maybe we will meet up again one day, and if we do see you, we promise we'll give you extra fries with your burger. Now, before we do, we're going to leave you with the sweet, soulful sounds of Bradford's own R&B sensation, Shania, with a song called I'm Not In Love With You.
About the way I feel for you. And when I say I like you around, my world prepares to play. It's because I'm feeling down and not the saving grace. I'm not in love with you. You're thinking I'm in love with you now. I'm not in love with you. I'm not in love with you. I'm not in love with you. Don't believe a word. I will never need you, boy. Don't listen to a word. And when I call you up,